Now, Maria, I just started on this Demi Moore thing. Somebody told me that Demi Moore has been, all she drinks on the set is the Red Bull. So I've decided today's the day I'm going to start the Red Bull story
Maria,
line.
ask him how long it's going to last. Ask him. Go ahead.
I'm so concerned because of, is it taurine or some kind of
Yes,
crazy
taurine.
Taurine. That just, because I had one of those drinks once and I felt so crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Of course, I am already on psychiatric medication.
Oh, hello.
mix
Hey,
it
party
with
over
Red
here. No, we've got Maria Bamford is here. We love her.
Love.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Love.
I love this
And the
woman.
funny thing is, I got turned on to, and this is not going to be shocking to you at all.
Wait a minute.
If you could guess.
Does this involve a fistful of Jergens lotion?
You wish it did, but no.
Okay.
I got turned on to Maria when we were on tour from who do you think would love Maria Bamford?
Oh, Katya.
100%.
Uh-huh.
Katya turned me on to her with Lady Dynamite. So I
Yes.
started watching on Netflix and I
Yeah.
was like, who is this insane person
Uh-huh.
who I completely understand, relate to, get the artistry or chartistry, whichever you want to call it.
Chartistry?
Yes, sure.
Ooh, I love
Whichever you want
that.
to call it. And I became obsessed. And I started watching her new special, Old Lady, what is it called?
Old baby.
Old Baby, yes.
Say Old
I have
Lady
a
then.
baby voice and I am old.
And
No, you
so
are not
funny.
old.
And
You
the
are not
brilliant way
old.
that you do it with starting in the mirror, then going to the and the way it grows. It's
Yeah.
just a brilliant
With the Old
special.
Baby thing where she
Yes.
does her stand-up routine in all these different locations.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Starting alone
Yes.
and growing.
Yeah.
And there's always the presence of the paper mache
You
pug.
know, I'm always just interested with comics. At what point did you find your voice? You have a very distinct, not just your physical voice,
Yes,
but
yes,
your, yeah. When did you know, oh my God, that's it?
I don't know. And I don't even know if you as a artist, you ever really know, oh, this is, I think I associate it with getting paid.
Oh, okay. Yes. You
When
start
the cash
there.
starts coming
Yeah.
in, and I go, I think I found my voice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you start there. I think if people are willing to pay you, then
Yeah. But let me see. I think I did one-person shows. I did mostly women's performance art venues and
like Lilith Fair?
no, this was in Minneapolis.
Giggleth Fair.
Giggleth Fair. This was in the late late 80s, early 90s, not late 80s. I was still in high school. Early 90s.
Same.
And so there weren't as many venues. It was all performance art venues. I didn't do very well in the comedy clubs.
Huh.
I had a shaved head at the time.
Oh, well,
Sexy.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Whoops.
right.
And
Whoops.
and it was fun, and it was also a way to kind of one thing in comedy is, at least at that point, there were more men, and if you have a shaved head, men don't talk to you.
Right.
Right. They either think you're ill or
Yeah.
you're mad about something. Both were in play.
Yeah. Why did you have a shaved head? Why did you shave your head?
Well, it was very inexpensive. Also, I think because of that issue of it was Minnesota. I'm born and bred to say, I've got to listen to men and what their ideas are. And that is what comedy backroom green rooms are all about, is I was watching your act and I just thought, maybe if you were blonde, it might be funnier.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of advice giving
And you wanted to take yourself out of that.
and I think that's changed so much. I think I definitely see a lot of more gender equity and many more voices.
It's changed a lot, Maria, but I have to say, because we've worked with comics over the years in radio, and I find, and I'm generalizing, which could be dangerous, but at the same time, I think it's something that needs to be said. I find that female comics don't get the appreciation or the kudos that they deserve. And they're also not appreciated by the male comics. I hear them saying female comics just suck.
Yeah, and that's always, it's just sexism. It's just like racism. It's
Correct.
you're just wrong.
Right.
You're just wrong.
I mean,
You're
obviously,
just
some of the
wrong.
greatest have been women.
And there's nothing to argue against a person like that. It's like, obviously you're just stupid or insane or.
But have you had to fight against that?
Not really. I just don't get into arguments. I'm passive aggressive, so.
Just key their car in the parking lot.
Yes, take it out on stage.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's worth it. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, but I don't. Yeah, I just don't get into arguments.
Where have you seen it change? You said things are changing. In what form has it changed?
Well, the amount of women that are doing stand-up nationwide is, I would say, at least in smaller cities as well. Like I'm going to St. Louis and San Antonio, Texas. At least in Texas, I put out, sometimes I put up Twitter ads just saying, hey, if you want to open for me, send me your video link. I'll pay you $600.
Oh my God, that's so generous of you.
So, and you can come and open for me. And then I watch the video links, and then the two, and there are hundreds of women who post, and a very high quality, like women who are, and everybody's just starting out. So, but yeah, that just did not exist at all, and there weren't the venues, and but I think there's just a lot more community support, and I think it has been talked about. Like one thing that changed so drastically, I just did a UCB class. I did the level 1 improv because I was like, well, it's so fun. Why do I have to miss out?
The Upright Citizens Brigade. Yes.
And improv, I remember 15 years ago, it was like you would be physically assaulted on stage. Almost always had to play a wife, a girlfriend, a hooker. And UCB makes a whole statement at the first class saying just because somebody looks a certain way doesn't mean they are identified as this character or have to play this character. If there's any issues with anyone stalking you or touching you, there's no touching of people. Like that was, I had never heard those things before, and I think that's safe. So helpful.
And there's no stealing of earrings.
Well, I don't know if they can guarantee that.
Yeah.
Don't get
But
crazy.
it's interesting. We talk about this a lot. We all consciously want to move the conversation forward and move humankind forward. But if the electrical grid here in Los Angeles shut down, you'd really get to see who people are. So all that stuff would go right out the window, So it's great that we're doing that.
Yeah.
But at our core, at the subdermal level,
that's your skin. But okay,
yeah.
Let's go with it. Underneath your skin.
Well, if you peeled your skin off, what's there
blood
is just a horrible person.
Yes, ew! Put your skin back on.
Or at least, just the epidermis. My father was a dermatologist, so.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was. But he was in Minnesota, so he didn't do any procedures.
Yeah.
Nothing to help me. Help me out here, Dad. But no, I feel like LA is like a human rights violation just walking outside. Like there's and I was raised Christian, so it's like every day it's like the story of the Good Samaritan where I'm the bad guy. Like you walk past 10 people within 2 blocks who need to be, covered in your robes and their feet washed.
Yeah.
And we are failing as a society.
Yeah.
So
now you mentioned some gigs that you were doing. I went to your website, mariabamford.com, and it has a whole list of where you're going to be performing, which is very helpful for people. It's true.
It does help.
People want to see.
It's high tech.
If people want to see Maria Bamford, go to mariabamford.com.
Yes.
And there's a whole list of things. How much of the year are you on the road? It looks like a lot.
I just do about two city tour. So I go out to 2 cities twice a month. So I do 4 cities
like
a
math.
month.
Yeah, I don't know what you
That's
just
not
said.
crazy. 4 cities a month.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I can't do the long tour. I'll go bazooka.
Yeah,
but how long are your guys' tours?
Oh. The last one we did was 6 months.
Yeah, she goes out with the girls. I haven't toured in a long time.
But I'm getting ready to get the band back together.
She goes out with the girls, and they do these massive tours around the world.
Oh my Lord.
That I can't even imagine today, especially with all the cell phones and the this and the that and the people all up your nostrils looking at you doing things. I don't want to see that on I don't want to see it on YouTube.
You just have to let it go and realize it is what it is, and we're all human, and nobody looks perfect at all times.
Right.
And the older I get, the more I realize I don't. It is what it is. I'm going to do my best to look my best. If you love me, you won't post that picture.
Right.
But you're going to have to kind of hand over your fate to these
Sure.
children.
Yeah.
And they don't have the same aesthetic eyes that we have.
Right.
So
right.
they're going to post those up the nose shots and those under the chin shots that are just so
well,
lovely.
That's when I have to go see Maria's father.
Exactly,
And
in Minnesota.
Well, I just invite. I'm not willing to spend the money on any processes.
Why not?
I just I don't. I feel claustrophobic in those environments of like being covered in creams
Sure.
and jellies. And
How do you feel in a sling?
in a sling? Ooh, I have not tried a sling. That is featured in the second season of Lady Dynamite, though. There are 2 slings.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
How progressive.
and pugs get involved.
Yay!
So, anyway,
Wow.
it's gonna. I think it'll be a really fun season.
But your father still practices? Does he do Botox and laser hair removal?
First of all, is he still with us?
He did not practice. He does not practice anymore. He's been retired for about 6 years, and he did not do those things. So he just did melanoma, the things that's just sort of the life-saving stuff. He was not as into that.
So he was useless.
Well, some may say that. No, I think I would like someone to come in and gentrify my body for me. If you want to come in and just like, hit me with a stick where you want to pay for the things that will upgrade this property.
Like the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh, so
I'm
you're
down
a
for that.
fixer-upper.
I'm a fixer-upper. I don't want to bring down the property value of the person I'm standing
right.
next to. If you want to come in and make some changes,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
love that.
We can get the Property Brothers on the phone real quick. Or what if they come in and say, this property is condemned?
That can happen.
Oh, thank God. Well, then I'm just into the sci-fi network. Then it's like I'm just in a new niche.
Yeah.
You know?
I just
She's
love...
haunted.
Yeah, no, but your body, you have a hot body. You have a very hot body.
Thank you.
And now it's gorgeous.
No.
Lady Dynamite, she wears the tight clothes. She's doing all the stuff. And then on Arrested Development, that was so funny, that character that you did. Now they said that show is going to come back. Do you think you'll come back on that show?
Not as far as I know, they're doing a film version of it.
Oh.
So
Because it did come back.
yeah,
It did come back,
did
and
come
she was
back.
on
I
that.
was
Yes,
on
yes,
that
yes,
one.
yes.
And
And
then
then
they're doing a film version of
The
it
movie.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not as far as I know, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Got plenty
Okay,
of
well,
stuff
they'll
to
get
do.
on.
Yeah, well, and I try to treat show business as like a friend with a drinking problem. Like, it's great to see him,
Right.
but I'm not going to, if I don't see them for a couple of months, I'll
Sure.
just assume that everything's okay. And,
And they're in rehab or
Yeah.
they're dead?
or they're dead.
Yeah.
And in a better place.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about in your comedy, not in her, she's right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
In your comedy, in your specials, and everything that you do, you incorporate your struggles and or past or present with mental health.
Yes.
And being a parent of a kid who's struggled for many, many years, I find it refreshing, necessary, and important because it goes along with the way that we live our life. If we can't laugh at and make fun of and do that inventory inside our head and get rid of the things that are no longer helping us. It's like self-deprecating humor. Some comics think it's the easiest, like being rude. What's the, like, not shady, but like when you make fun of people or insult comics.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
say that those are the lowest hanging fruit and the easiest shit. I know this is just what people say.
Yeah.
But self-deprecating humor to me, I think, is the funniest because it makes you lovable and it makes you vulnerable and accessible. And the fact that you incorporate it into it, I'm saying thank you because it takes the stigma and the taboo away.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does. Now, we are all a blood sugar away from the cuckoo
Yes.
farm, all of us, and
We all have
everyone
it.
I've ever met.
Yeah.
What do you say to people who are on the brink, or how do you keep that at bay?
Because I can guarantee you they're all drawn to you. I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
your emails, your mail, all of your stuff is coming from that. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, and obviously, yeah. I've always dated people who've had somewhere on the spectrum of psychiatric issues. My husband has some bipolarity.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, I guess the only thing I could do is call an ambulance. You know, if somebody comes to a show and like, oh shit, you know, like if you're teary-eyed and you're gonna kill yourself, I'm not. I'm just a comedian.
Correct.
You know, I can hug you. I can say it may get better. Sometimes, I mean, that is the thing about health in general. It's like, well, you can provide hope, but also the reality is sometimes it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. You know,
Yeah.
people going through different medications for years. So, but just to, yeah, so to there's a limit to what responsibility
Sure.
anyone can have.
Yeah.
And I would say that for myself too. I know I was planning to commit suicide. I was, you know, but my friends and family could only do so much. So
Right.
when the ambulance came to pick me up, or you know, that's where professionals come in. That there's some there, but even sometimes the illness is too powerful for
Sure.
that.
Right.
I've had plenty of friends who committed suicide, or not plenty of friends. That's
Mhm.
terrible. But you know, and so which is just awful. But it is genuinely an illness, and
Yeah.
it is extremely powerful. And you know, for whatever reason, if it's luck or of the draw of being born into a history where there's better medications, I found a bunch that have worked for me. But it took a year and a half. It's not attractive. I have a tremor. What else do I have? I have some cognitive difficulties. I
Uh-huh.
have to memorize my act a lot more
Mhm.
mindfully. So it's not great. You know,
No.
it's not perfect.
Life is
So,
hard.
yeah,
Life is
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it is, yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, we all walk around and it looks like everybody has their shit together. And the truth is, we all suffer from
Something.
imbalance
Yeah.
throughout our lives. And
Yeah.
some people are able to maintain and look the part much better than others. But I identify very
Same.
well. Yeah.
But that's what I love about it, because it's saying me too,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's saying fuck you.
Right.
Do you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, but there isn't. I know one of my fears was like that anyone would find out that I had gotten to such a place of weakness. Like I could not speak, I
Mhm.
could not function at all, and that has been helpful for me to share that. Like when I was in the hospital, somebody said, came up to me and said, this is what happens when somebody finds out that it's happening. I know this nurse came up to me and said, hey, I just want to let you know, I know you, not personally, but I know a lot of comedians. And Joe De La Rosa, he works at the comedy store in the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know if you do sets there. We go there all the time. I've never seen you. Is it a hard club to get in? Anyways, but I just want to let you know that I would never tell anyone. This is totally confidential. I've never tell anyone. I'm in a county stamped gown and a pair of electric green gripper socks that are not my own. You tell whoever the fuck you want. Girlfriend, all is lost.
Well, we're going to go to a break, but I want to talk
true.
when we come back. I want to talk about how do you come back from something like that? I
Yeah.
want to talk about that. We've got Maria Bamford from Lady Dynamite and Arrested Development and the new
Old Baby.
special, Old Baby, which is all on Netflix
Yes.
right now, so you can check her out. But we're going to go to break real quick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Michelle. Yes, I said gosh. You know why I said gosh?
No.
Because on the television shopping channels,
Yeah.
they always say gosh.
They have to.
They have to say gosh, and
Yeah.
I'm saying it now because of Squarespace.
Yay!
You know I'm in love with Squarespace.
I mean, who isn't? And by the way, I think they were our first sponsor.
They really were. So
So.
they're pioneers, not only on our podcast, but they're pioneers in the concept of making a website really easy.
And that's the key word. That's a 4-letter word that you should use every day.
It's a good 4-letter word.
Easy.
Easy. If you want a website, Go to squarespace.com and use that offer code RU. Child, you will not be sorry. So many people have been serviced, honey, by Squarespace and their websites. It's just so easy.
It is easy, guys. And when you're ready to purchase a plan, get 10% off with the offer code RU. That's squarespace.com, offer code RU.
Easy. We got Maria Bamford here. We're talking about lots of stuff.
Yeah.
You are a wealth of just, there's emotions, there's comedy, there's sadness, there's everything. You've got blonde hair.
And
pink. Got it
is
all.
not real. It is not mine.
Well, we toy with reality here.
Yes.
So, before the break, we were talking about life and how hard it is to maintain some balance. A lot of people look like they're doing it. A lot of people don't look like they're doing
You
it.
just never know. Like I don't know if this has happened to you, but like when you meet somebody, like I've met somebody who's famous or whatever, I go, oh, and then you start talking to, anyone, you start talking to them for about 20 minutes and all of a sudden like, yeah, I have a debt to the IRS. It's kind of stressing us out. We might have to sell the house in Pacific Palisades, or at least the kids. I don't know if they'll be able to go to school, but Jesus Christ, like everyone,
Everyone,
yeah.
And it's only getting worse with the current administration because it's bringing out, and I'm not blaming it. Okay, I am. But more and more as times get tougher, people are releasing that information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it is good. Like that was one thing I felt so relieved about, is that once I started talking about, and I think once you start talking about it, all these people are open to talk to you about it. Like I had friends who I had no idea. One friend who had a psychotic episode who was like, yeah, I've just never told anybody because I didn't want anyone. And this is a person who's a painter. Like, why would you give a shit what anyone thinks? You're you're an artist. Like that's kind of street cred.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Well, I think that if you are a sweet, sensitive soul and you are awake in this world, how could you not go a little bit crazy?
Well, especially now. Yeah, for sure.
Well, no, I think always. When I was a kid, when I found weed, that was the first place I self-medicated, because I thought, this is all batshit crazy, and the only way I'm going to get through this is if I anesthetize myself and just wake me when it's over.
So the weed would take you out of that?
The weed would...
soften the edges.
Would soften the edges, and it would make the whole world tolerable for me.
Got it.
And I did lots of other chemicals and lots of drinking and all that stuff. I haven't done anything like that in 18 years, but I've learned other ways to sort of keep the balance. And Maria, what have you learned through this odyssey to get some equilibrium
other than
in your
medication?
life?
Because obviously,
right. Well, I think that obviously, if you are in that horrible place of feeling that hopelessness, like I went through an outpatient treatment program here in Los Angeles twice for mental illness, like for bipolar, and I just was like, I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to work again. And no one could seem to tell me, like, you're going to be able to work again. Like, even the therapists are like, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's helpful.
So, yeah. and I think they're also being truthful.
Yeah,
they don't know. So sometimes you can be disabled. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like that continuing, like, humility to take care of yourself and accept yourself for your limitations, which I have a really hard time doing. Like I can no longer work as hard or be up all night with a lot of wonderful, insane ideas, or I don't do a lot of international travel because of the mood changes. Things that I had all this ambition to do, and to kind of just accept that in order for me to stay well, I can't do that.
Right.
I could, but I may be, I may be hurting myself.
It throw you off balance.
Yeah.
And with your family, I'm sure they must have asked you, what could we have done in hindsight? What could we have done to help ease that, or did that have to happen?
They did a great job. I mean, as far as all the things that they had, like when I was 10 years old and I stopped being able to sleep at night, they sent me to a therapist. It was a Christian therapist, but that was all that was available. She would like just let me sleep on her couch for an hour. And at least it was somewhere to go, you know, that was safe and that it was, I couldn't tell her what was going on in my head. I have that unwanted thought syndrome, that OCD, where it's unwanted violent and sexual thoughts, and I started having those, and I didn't tell anyone until I was 35 about that. And yeah, so but they did the best that they could.
But having come through that all, and from where you are now, looking at the other side, is there anything anyone could have done? Is it just a nice place, a safe couch to sleep on, or is it compassion, or is it medication? What if a parent is going through this? What advice do you have for?
I say, trying to find help. But at the same time, I think you do, especially once a child reaches 18, 19, 20, 21. I have a relative, a young relative who has bipolar, who is also using and
illegal drugs, using illegal drugs?
Yeah, and it's like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, like, there's nothing you can do. They know all the information. They know our family history. So beyond sitting on them for 24 hours a day,
right,
which I don't know
doesn't
if I'm heavy
really
enough.
work.
I'm not heavy enough to keep it down. But I think the same thing for me. You have to let your child experience life and go through the ups and downs, but also to make it safe to say, I need help. I need to go to the hospital. Even if that experience is not perfect, the therapist is shitty, like, let it be terrible. Like, let it be a mess, but like, let yourself be open to the possibilities of help. I guess, you know, because like sometimes it's like, especially LA is like all about finding the perfect therapy, or the perfect, you know, yoga class or whatever it is. No. Just go. Go to whatever 12-step program, NAMI meeting.
Get to it.
Just go to whatever it is. You know, find, you know, like that Christian, she was a former non-Christian therapist. Yeah, it was on some level not helpful. She gave me some sort of biblical book that horrified me. It's called Hind's Feet on High Places, that I still have nightmares about.
Hind's Feet on High Places.
Do not read it. Do not read it. And so creepy. And it was about the burning seed inside an elf's chest cavity that keeps slipping in and out.
Oh my God.
How's that going to help anybody?
I'm sure there's somebody likes it. Somebody loves it out there.
Somebody loves it.
Yeah.
But the fact that my parents showed that they cared about me, they acknowledged that something was wrong, they came in for therapy, like, all those things are things that, you know, I don't think I consciously knew at the time, showed that I was cared for.
There was compassion there.
There was compassion there. I would also say, like, take care of yourself. Like, make sure that you're going to therapy, that you're the example of somebody who's, like, you're taking care of your own shit. Because if you're not doing anything, you're just focusing on your kid the whole time, which my parents didn't really focus on me that much, which I'm kind of, I mean, at the time, some might call it neglect. No, that's not true. They were, but they did have their own lives and their own creative experiences and stuff like that.
You mentioned, you mentioned growing up in a Christian background. Have you maintained a spiritual practice yourself?
Well, I'm in 12-step programs for about 25 years, and I won't mention which ones because that's a no-no, I guess. Turns out, I was like, with 12-step, I was like, nobody wants to go to these groups. Why do you give a shit if I said I'm a member of one? Anyways,
well, I've heard that if you enjoy going to a 12-step program, you're not going to enough of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Exactly. But so I've really liked that.
Do you meditate, or do you do?
I've done some meditation. I mostly go to my 12-step groups for connection with, and I am an atheist. I did believe in God and did believe in a higher power. And as a result of mental health experiences, for whatever reason, that was really, and not in a bad way, was like, I really don't, could not have that experience anymore.
You felt it confining?
It didn't ring true for me anymore. I just felt like what I can believe in is the higher power of humanity, that together we can accomplish things and support each other. I do believe in nature and the beauty and the magical nature of the brain and the body and that kind of thing. I do not believe in an individual spirit that cares directly for me.
Right.
That feels I just get a little worried about that, because then I'll start saying stuff like, these velour pants are, it's like, thank you. They were $200 at Barney's, and now it's down to $150. It's like, I feel blessed. Like, okay.
How much of you think your creativity is tied to having a background of mental illness?
I'm sure, yeah. Well, and especially, and also, I think having a high voice, I did not feel empowered. Like, people really do not hear women's voices, especially if they're higher. And so I love being able to change my voice into something that people might listen to. And also, introverted kids. So, but maybe it had something to do with it. But I also don't think that you have to have depression, mental illness, or anything to be an unbelievably talented person who is extremely creative. Like,
but your perception, your ability to do these voices and to get them straight on to where the listener immediately goes, oh, I know exactly who that is. That level of perception comes with a sort of a double-edged sword. I mean, to be as perceptive about the world means that you have to also be about the good things. You also have to be as perceptive about the negative things. So in my experience, that is the curse, the blessing and the curse.
Right.
So that's why I would think, that is tied to some of the pain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. And some people, I know that I'm not always popular with some audiences because comedy, the arts, some people just want to have a good time.
Sure.
And they want to have something more like, these are something that isn't so personal,
right? And
something that might bring up some thoughts of, and I totally get that.
Yeah,
like, I love pop music.
Sure.
I love. Oh my God, tell me about work,
yes.
and
Rihanna. Yes.
And I mean, I'm sure that involves some emotional crisis she was having at the time, but it didn't seem like anything was going on with her and Drake in the video. They were having a very nice time. Why is he's fully clothed during that video? In like a full-on jumpsuit, and she is not wearing much.
Got nothing on.
But so
no, you enjoy the lighter thing. We're going to take a quick break before we move on with. I want to get into the voices. I want to get into does all these voices for cartoons and different. It's brilliant. We've got Maria Bamford here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Join over 300,000 users who already know that Talkspace is the way you can get therapy when you want it, how you want it, at any time you want it.
But that's the thing, Ru. We talk about therapy all the time here on What's the Tea. Therapy helped me through my deepest, darkest eating disorder moments, my abandonment issues. I'm probably still not over, but anyway. You had your own issues.
Sure, it's always a work in progress, and you never know when breakthroughs pop up and you need to talk to someone. Well, Talkspace is the way to do it. It's a therapy session in your pocket.
That's the best thing about it, because here's the thing. Back in our day, Ru and I, when we started therapy,
I think Eisenhower was in office at that point.
Me and Lady Bird were hanging out at the therapist's office.
She was a hoot.
She was a downright hoot. And here's the thing. You couldn't just call and go, I need to talk to you right now. You had to store it up, take Cliff Notes, wait to see that therapist that week, and then go and talk about it. But now, with Talkspace, you can text, you can audio message, you could video message your therapist as many times as you want without having to wait a week for your next appointment. Because with Talkspace, your therapist is always in your pocket, on your computer, computer, whatever your thing is. And this is how it works. You go to Talkspace.com/Rue, of course. You download their app, whichever you want. You can do it on the .com or you can do it on the app. You're then going to speak with a Talkspace therapist representative where you're going to share who you are. You're going to share what you want to get out of therapy. If you're having anything like urgent right now you need to deal with, then you're going to pick the plan you want because, of course, there's different prices for different plans.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to pay more to have more access. That's just life. And then you're going to be assigned to a therapist that best fits your need.
Yeah, I think it's so brilliant. You know, there's so many people around the world who really could benefit from having a therapist. And, you know, I know a lot of young people who listen to What's the Tea, who are artistic and who have a full, beautiful heart. Therapy is a way to help you navigate your life, especially if you have a sweet, sensitive soul. I recommend Talkspace 100%.
Yeah.
And so do 300,000 other users who use this app on a daily.
That's why they're here on What's the Tea, because we ain't going to talk about something we don't believe in.
That's right.
So for $30 off your first month, and if you need somebody to talk to, and you need somebody now, this is the best way to do it. Go to Talkspace.com/Rue, or you can download the Talkspace app on the Apple or Android thing. You know what to do. But don't forget to use the offer code RU. With Talkspace, you are never alone. Call them, get in touch with them today.
We've got Maria Bamford here. I just love talking to her, and I became a fan through. I think the first time I saw her was on Arrested Development. But then after seeing it, I realized I was aware of her in other places. I just didn't know, oh, that's her.
Yes.
And then I got onto Lady Dynamite. Now you're saying there's a second season of Lady Dynamite. Have you filmed it already?
Yes, we filmed it already. It's already in the can. I'm going to go do ADR later on this afternoon. So
wow.
Super exciting.
What does ADR stand? I know it's the voice, the looping, like the
Isn't
voiceover
it
stuff.
additional dialogue looping?
Yes.
But the recording, it must be recording.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I just know they called it ADR. And
Yeah.
I should be at.
Additional dialogue recording.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's
Sounds
it.
right.
Yeah. So that's all happening. And of course, if you want to catch her show, you can go to mariabamford.com.
Yes.
Got a whole list of her itinerary throughout the year. But when did you discover you could do voices?
I think when I was a kid, I liked to imitate commercials. I don't know if you remember. Pearl Drops tooth polish. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah. It's a great feeling.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And I think I was
remember.
like 8 or something, you know, or I don't know. I'm not sure. But I like doing that. And then I liked impersonating my parents are ridiculous. So I started impersonating my mother. Let me see.
What's her name?
My mother is Marilyn, and she is hilarious, as all mothers are. Listen, honey, I couldn't find you in the house, and I was worried you'd kill yourself. So I called your sister, left a message, but I have a hair appointment in town, and I just thought, well, I'll just, you know, if there is a funeral, I'll just have to dredge. We'll just dredge the shallows for your body later, but anywho. Listen, kid, you know what? You just take my engagement ring because we don't know how much time I have left. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I have 7 points left in a fruit. What can you do for me? What can you do for me? I've done 8,000 steps. I'm behind.
Oh my God! And did she laugh at that? Your mom?
Oh yeah. Well, not at first. She always is like, oh well. That's what she says. If she doesn't like it, she'll say, well, I just never said that. I never said that. But she's yeah. We just went on a 3-week tour of Norway with my husband and I.
Your family is from there?
Yeah, we have some cousins there. So we went there, and I was telling. I was saying, joking. I don't know why I was joking at this, but you know, I'm basically 47 years old at my sexual peak. You know, I'm in to brag, but I'm down for whatevs. And anyways, my mom was saying, "Oh, honey, you're just kidding yourself. I mean, for me, it was 63. You've got plenty of time to go.
To look forward to."
Oh my God!
Oh, your father. He has needs. That sex is the most important thing in a relationship. I'll tell you that much. What is this? Oh, it's arugula. Oh, is that what I'm eating? Somebody put weeds in the salad? Oh, it's arugula. I love arugula.
I love her.
Oh my God! I was watching Lady Dynamite last night, and I was craving pussy noodle.
Oh.
Have you ever tasted pussy noodle?
I have not tasted pussy noodle but myself.
Now, there are other people who write that material, but it's in your voice. How do they do that?
They are an incredibly talented group of individuals. The primary person, head writer, is Pam Brady, who did Team America, the film, well as worked on South Park for many years. And so she is the head writer on
How'd
this
you
next
find
season.
her? How'd you guys hook up?
Mitch Hurwitz. They're good friends. And
he's from Arrested Development.
Arrested Development. And he had always wanted to work with her, and I think she had always wanted to be a showrunner, and so I was lucky enough that it was one of those things where in show business where you're like, Mitch asked me to have salad a number of times, you know, how would you come over here and I'll pay for a salad for you, and we'll just chit chat, and I never thought, you just don't know if anything will happen,
right?
And then we met Pam, and then it just kept still working out.
It's
and then,
perfection.
Yeah,
it is perfection. Do you think the second season is as funny as the first?
I think the second season is even funnier.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Mo Collins from Mad
Yes,
TV
love
is
her.
given a much larger role, and she
Same
is,
lace front wig.
Yes, hilarious. And then it is so good
and so smart. It's really smart. I mean, the way that the story is woven in, and how the ultimate the product that's delivered at the end is it does make you think.
Yeah. It's sort of it's semi-autobiographical. This one is about how my husband and I decided to get married,
and so right. The one I watched last night was actually the second episode in the first season, which has pussy noodle in it, and then the one after. I get on a roll with it where I can't stop because the Netflix. If you let it starts right away.
That's the best thing. I love that.
But Hulu needs to work on that because there's some weirdness with the Hulu part of that when you want it to keep going. It doesn't do it on my TV. It doesn't do that, Right. But then it went into this one about race with the Lucas brothers.
Yes.
That was absolutely brilliant. Mira Sorvino was in that one, and so many great cameos. What cameos do you have in the second season?
Okay, that is a great question, and I wish I had written that.
That's all
down.
right. No, don't hurt your head. Don't you hurt your head.
So, the gal who wrote Transparent, and she's not a gal.
Amy
she's
Landecker?
a woman. No, she.
Jill Soloway.
Jill Soloway's in
Yes,
it.
Amy Landecker's the
Oh
actress.
my lord! Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Don't you hurt your head.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
you know what? We're going to massage your sphincter so that
Okay.
the thoughts just come out naturally. So we'll talk about something else.
Okay, great.
But it'll come out
Yes,
when you
okay,
do the
great,
thing.
great.
So now you've done so much in your career. You went to Norway.
For 3 weeks, that's a long time.
That's
My
too
parents-
long. That's too long.
My parents are hilarious. Like, they're a lot of fun, and they're not. They actually don't want to be around us most of the time. My mom says, "Honey, we've got to go. You know what? I think we've been spending too much time together. We'll see you in a couple days for supper. How about that? We're going to Stockholm. Listen,
We're gonna leave Norway and head to
my
Sweden.
mom called me from, honey, we're in Turkey, and the imam says we have to leave the hotel. The next hotel not down from us is on fire. Your father's taking a... Anywho, I'm going to wrap myself in a Turkish flag and hope for the best, but there's still good food.
Oh.
There's great food around here, and I'm trying to keep up with Kathy Clark on my steps.
Who's Kathy Clark?
Oh, her best friend.
Oh.
Her best friend, Kathy.
She's
are
on the
they
10,000 steps a day.
Yeah,
kick.
yeah. Oh, and they're connected.
Yeah.
So they know who's doing what.
Yeah.
And
And, all right, do your parents still live in Duluth?
yes, they live in Duluth.
Why do you think they still live there? It's so cold there.
They love it. Global warming.
Yes.
It's getting warmer.
Okay. All
And
right.
I
Fair
gotta
enough.
tell you, and they've just loved living there, and they're still they're liberal Christians, so they're my mom has always been involved in the Episcopal Church, and they just love it there. But then they love to travel, and my dad, they just love that area.
So now, okay, there's a TV show, there's a stand-up. Is there a project you've always wanted to do? You do all these voices in cartoons and voiceover things. How did that get started? Did someone just say, "Oh my God, you're doing these voices"? Wait, come here for a minute.
Or did the voiceover start first?
Well, I tried out for plays. Plays are so time heavy,
Consuming, yes.
time consuming, and they are also you're only cast in the one part.
Right.
So I started just doing one-person shows where I could do everything that I wanted to do. And I did a one-person sitcom, which then became a web series called The Maria Bamford Show that you can see online. And it talks a lot about that unwanted thought syndrome OCD thing. So if anybody is interested in that. And I just, I think I want to empower myself. I read that book, The Artist's Way. And I was just like, what can I do with just what I have, you know, and not waiting for anyone to give me a part or give me a spot on some show.
I love that.
Like, can I do a show at, 5 o'clock in the afternoon at a coffee shop? Turns out, yes.
Yeah.
And, and I don't, I don't have to wait for it to be booked. So
I love that.
that's that. And that book changed my life. I know.
Did you do all the work in the back of it? Because I
did everything. I went through it twice.
Wow.
It was. I mean, at the time, it was life changing to me. I mean, for whatever reason, it really spoke to me. I know I've tried to read it since, and it's just like
it's a lot. Maria.
And it just depends on it has some stuff where I'm just not so sure about, where it's like poisonous playmates. If anyone, isn't into what you do, then kick them to the curb. It doesn't sit. I'm paraphrasing, but as I grow older in life, I go, no. Everybody goes home. All my friends stay on board. I don't care what, if you don't like. My parents don't like my act that much. I mean, they laugh because they love me and they want me to earn a good living. That's what my dad said.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you need to do for money. But I don't think for people to love you, they have to love everything about you or support you and everything.
No, but you understand where they're coming from, though. You know that there are poisonous people.
Yeah, but and at the same point, I think, especially in Los Angeles, there can be this tendency of like, I'm just, all these people who are sucking off time from me. It's like, okay, now I have no one. I in 2004, I declared it the No Friend Left Behind active to, I don't care what happens. We're going to work this out. Yeah. And or I'm going to try to. If you don't want to, that's totally cool. But let's work it out.
I have a similar thing where I will have a week or a few days of giving a bitch a break. Yeah. It's give a bitch a break day. Yeah. And I'll let that slide. But that goes a long way, because in doing that, you give yourself a break. Yeah. And which is a really important tool. Talk about keeping equilibrium. It's a great way to. I never read The Artist's Way, but all of my friends, everybody I grew up with, they was like, "Oh, The Artist's Way, The Artist's Way." It seems like it's too much work for me. But the philosophy, I think I get the philosophy already.
It's a great book.
You're already living it. I think I just. As in Minnesota, I didn't really know a name for what I was gonna do. I didn't know I could be a comedian, and then all of a sudden I was like doing the extras in the book, and it said to name what you want to be, and I was like, oh, I am a comedian. Like, and that helped me put where I don't think I would have put those words together before. So, and helped me have a vision for what I wanted to do in the future.
But you have defined your career. I mean, you are a comedian, but there's so much more. There's so many different facets, and it's different from
it's like
anything
performance artist.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
more that than just a comic.
Yeah, for sure. And then, but I always I love that about the internet, is that now people can YouTube stuff before they go see it. I mean, that was the miserable part of doing comedy, was when people didn't know what they've come to see. Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets violent, where it's like they're stuck in there. They've been given a 2-drink minimum. It's hot. It's squished. And all of a sudden, the person's on stage for an hour.
An hour?
And it's their one Friday night off. Yeah. It's like, you're going to get pissed, So... from both sides, people are going to be disappointed.
Because your routine and what you do on stage, it's cerebral. I can't say that word.
Cerebral.
Yeah, and the audience is forced to think, because there is a commentary there. It's not obvious in your face, but there's a subtext to it all that is really beautiful and really smart. And it does speak to the ones, us, who are the sweet, sensitive souls who get the irreverence and who get tickled by the twist of a phrase.
Yeah, I love words. I love words. That's why I get so mad when sometimes you see those T-shirts with words on them now. It's like truly, madly, deeply. You can't just walk around in a pair of Crocs, along the San Antonio Lake. I just want.
I love that riverfront walk.
Rock. Yeah, no, I love it too.
Yeah.
But like, you've got to. Truly, madly, deeply. You've got to be. have a knife, the blood of someone else on it. You've got to be running, screaming
Live
from.
it. Yes.
From lean in. You've got
Sure, yes, get into it.
You can keep the Crocs, but they've got to be sloshing with the entrails of your enemies.
Absolutely, you got to get into it.
But I love words. I do. Those are.
Oh, I love portmanteau. We're going to take a break real quick, but I love portmanteaus. Like my favorite word, and I've said this before many times, my favorite word I've ever heard in my entire life is a portmanteau. It's Mexicatessen. And now that I've said it, it's going to be going on in my head over and over and over and over. This is my lot in life.
Was it Mexican delicatessen?
It's a Mexican delicatessen. Mexicatessen.
Queso. Is that where they have just the lump of queso?
I don't know what that is.
Salt cheese.
Cheese. Okay, Mexican cheese.
Yeah,
queso.
Mexicatessen. Let that live in your head for a minute. Mexicatessen. It's just a beautiful, and the fact that they've merged, they're mashed together.
They made love.
And
they gave birth to queso.
Mexicatessen. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We've got Maria Bamford. We'll be right back. I feel like I want to talk in my voice right now that's rooted in my soul, because this is something I really love, Michelle.
Okay.
This is Squarespace.
All right, root it, baby.
It's rooted in my real deep heart and soul, because I love this company.
Yes.
Squarespace.com. They make it so easy for people to make their websites. And I love when people get to express themselves. And Squarespace is the place to go. It used to be really difficult to make websites.
Not only difficult, baby, but really expensive. You needed a webmaster. I call nobody a master.
Hey, you ain't not. This is not slave days.
You don't own me.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't you tell me.
Squarespace is in this with you. They're your partners, equal partners. And actually, they're pulling a lot more of the weight.
True. And here's the thing, you guys. You can get a free trial at Squarespace with no credit card required just by going to squarespace.com, and you know the rest. But I've got a letter here I wanna
I wrote a letter to Daddy.
I wrote a letter. Oh, not a very
Is that your Betty Davis
impression?
impression?
Can you do one?
No, but I could do probably as good as you. I wrote a letter to Daddy.
God, we're really bad.
Yeah,
okay.
Terrible.
This is the letter that we've got today. From Amy Conradine. First of all, thank you for Drag Race and introducing the world to these amazingly talented queens right to our screens. Your recommendation of Squarespace has helped me reignite the fire under my arse. So she must be British.
Yes, that's right.
To get back out there and show the world what I am made of. And it would really mean the world to me. And then some, if you could view my website and let me know what you think. It's amyconradine.com. Amy, A-M-I-E, Conradine, CONRADINE.com. I've always written music to cope with my own demons, and by having this website, people can now easily access it. I hope that by sharing my heartache, other people can find some relief in it too. Amy, that sounds beautiful, and we are so happy that you're taking your heartache out on paper.
That's right. And what better place than to put your artistic vision on a website where everybody can see it? And that's where Squarespace comes in. They make it so easy to create these websites.
Yes, we love it, and we love them, and we love you. And we got all those great emails. Keep them coming to us at RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com about your Squarespace website. Hopefully we can get it on the air. And you guys, when you're blown away and ready to confirm a plan at squarespace.com, use that offer code RU to get 10% off. You'll be getting a great deal and helping to keep What's the Tea free, by the way.
Right on, right on. Was that the end?
I mean, it wasn't, but now it is.
We are back with Maria Bamford. Now, you're asking if we're going to do another season of our TV show. Have you seen our show?
Oh, yes.
It's fun.
Gorgeous and so fun. It feels like comedy, performance art, but it's so much more work that I've been willing to put into my career.
Right.
Like, seriously, just the costuming and it's spectacular.
Well, the hard work comes because these kids on our show come from backgrounds where nobody wanted them, usually, and where society was saying, no, thank you. So they had to fight through and persevere and the fact that they're on our show means that they have fought the long fight and the long yards, and it's interesting being in their presence, because we all come together, all of the production and the people who are on the judges panel, we all come together in that solidarity. We've all come from that same background, you know.
Right.
They're so strong.
Yeah.
Do you know any drag queens?
Let me see.
Because on your show, you've got Bridget Everett.
Yes.
You've got the woman
Oh, Lennon Parham.
Yes, Lennon. Say that name again.
Lennon Parham.
That's an interesting name. Or Lala.
Lala. Yeah.
Lennon Parham. That's a hard name to say,
It's
isn't
the
it?
Parham. It's like you're used to saying like Lena Dunham.
Yeah.
It's the Parham. If you said Parham,
Yes.
it would be easier than the Parham.
But you know, it's because of the double N in the linen.
That too.
That's so
Lennon
specific.
Parham.
You have to make your mouth go linen. It's a very specific thing. And then to go and do Parham,
Correct.
your mouth does a completely different thing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It's
Linen
the enunciation.
Parham. Yeah. She's on the show. Dean Cain.
Yes.
He's-
Yes.
Superman.
Yes.
What's he like in the sack?
Oh well, we didn't actually get into the sack.
Uh-huh.
We just kissed.
Uh-huh.
But he was very nice guy.
Did you slip him the tongue?
Did not. There was I think he is a very conservative political
Oh.
person.
Okay.
Oh, no.
FYI.
Uh-huh.
Heads
uh-huh.
up.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
yeah. Yeah.
Got to send him back to Krypton.
I'm not totally sure,
Uh-huh.
but that is what I heard. Anyways, it's okay.
Yeah, isn't that interesting though when you do a scene, or when you're metaphorically speaking in bed with someone and you realize, oh, you are a conservative Republican.
How's this gonna happen?
How's that
I
gonna
have a
happen?
question with the kissing thing.
Yes.
When you do a scene, I don't know if I've ever asked this before, but you do a scene in a film, on television, wherever you are. Do you talk about it first? Do you talk about how far you're going to go? Do you automatically know there's no tongue in
Right,
television?
right.
Well, that can't be true, because I know that I have some friends who are actors, and I'm not an actor. You know, I'm a comedian, so I was like, yeah, I just go the
Uh-huh.
because I feel
But
like
is it a
that-
given, Maria? Or did you talk about it?
I didn't talk. Did I talk about it? I don't think I did. I just did it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just did it. Wait, I did talk to. There was this lovely guy who did a guest star on our show, and he had done tons of soaps. He's extremely good-looking actor.
Oh, is he the bisexual
Yes,
meth addict?
yes.
Oh, he's hot.
So good
Yeah.
looking. He was hilarious. He's like, oh God, I've done nude scenes, I've done everything. So I was like, okay, so how does this work? Because it was the first on-screen kiss or whatever I had done, and he was like, yeah, you just do it,
Mhm.
and you know, if there is nudity or if there is tongue, then you'll talk about it, or the director will ask for
Right.
that or something like that. But yeah, it was. Yeah, he was. That helped me a lot to just have.
Well, no,
someone
I know.
to
I've
laugh.
seen movies about movies where you're trained to not open your mouth,
Right.
because on camera it looks better if you do not open your mouth,
Okay.
and that there's a way you tilt your head and put your mouth together. You look out for the other person's nose,
Uh-huh.
but there is a technique to it that is good for film. It's probably not good for, getting all up in there and
Right.
say, you my
bitch.
yeah,
But
exactly.
that's different. Because you've seen the scenes, and you've seen, like, I just saw Baby Driver, and I was watching a kiss in there, and the kiss was fantastic, but it wasn't sloppy. It was sexual
Mhm.
and great, but it wasn't sloppy. It was perfect, and there was no tongue. But there's a little opening of the mouth
Yeah.
that gives you everything that you want.
You need-
Sure.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
wasn't 9.5 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
But I'm
right.
sure that if you go into that and like in Big Little Lies, you know that sex scene's going to be all of that. And I guess
Uh-huh.
in that case, you then talk to your
Sure.
partner and say, okay, we got to do
Well,
this.
I have a friend who's a director on something, and she told me that these two very famous people got into bed, and the woman, she did not have on the vanity,
Right.
the little
Modesty
piece.
shield.
Modesty
Yeah,
shield.
yeah.
That's it. This is a great drag name.
Modesty Shield.
Modesty
Oh my
Shield.
God, that's
Yes.
a great
Yeah,
drink.
Modesty Shield.
Shields. We bang out drag names on this show. like-
Constantly. We're a factory. Yeah.
Thank you.
But the actress, who's a very well-known, I'm not going to say anymore.
A-lister?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She didn't have no vanity. She didn't have no vanity.
She just
girl.
went all in buck
She
wild.
was like, hey, what's up?
Oh,
What's up?
shit.
Yeah, yeah, and the actor was very surprised guys, and he's a very famous. I'll tell you when we get off the air.
Okay, he was like, "What are you doing, girl?"
Yeah, he's like, and he had to go and tell the director,
she needs to put on her.
she need to put her panty back on.
Maybe she's just trying to get some.
Maybe she's trying to get some. How's if you're a big actress, how you gonna get some if you can't get it work?
And then what do they do? Do they? I mean, we're getting off track, but I want to know.
Was she at all European? Because sometimes Europeans have a different thing about nudity.
Right?
And stuff.
No, she's an American actress who I'm going to tell you when we get off the air.
But then, like, they have to get. Let's
So
say,
grateful.
then they get the ass scene, the girl's ass scene. She can't be having panties on. So then, do they cut it and say we're going to reset this just so you can get the shot of the ass without the modesty shield panties?
She's over 60.
What? She's trying to get it. She's trying.
I'm
to
going to
get
tell you. I'm doing a number. I'm going to tell you how old she is. Okay. But don't say it
Okay,
out loud.
okay.
All right. Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait.
Yeah. No, she's not.
I'm mouthing it to them, but I'm not going to say it on the air, and you guys don't say it out loud.
No,
okay?
no, I won't.
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
On what?
Yeah. Don't say it anymore. Don't say it
I
anymore.
believe it.
I fucking believe it too.
Yeah.
Because that's my bitch right
Like,
there.
what
But
fun.
you know who the man was? I'm going to tell you who the man was. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
me too. Me
yeah.
too.
You would have got in that bed with no panties.
I would have been no panties down to my ankles. They would have been in the bathroom. Me too. Yes, please.
But did she put them back on after
No.
you requested?
She did the whole scene.
And if I look like her, I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
I was with him,
Yeah.
I would all check.
Uh-huh.
check.
You do. If you were in bed with the two of them.
But no modesty shield.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, Maria, have you've done bed scenes with people?
Yeah, and I just did, and this was of my own choice because I just thought it would be hilarious. I did a nude scene where I am just running around naked in my own show because I feel like,
Completely?
yes, completely nude,
But no modesty shield?
nothing.
How freeing was? Oh, we got to
It
talk
was
about that.
hilarious
Yeah.
because there are so many things of women's bodies been sexualized, but I like the idea that it could be funny. Like one of the I remember
Bodies
seeing
are funny.
the movie Borat,
Uh-huh.
and the part where the guys
The
running.
wrestling.
and
Oh,
it made
yes.
me laugh so
Yes.
hard. I just love watching a man running
Yeah.
naked.
Yeah.
So funny. And so I was like, well, maybe I can do that, and there's a lot more nudity on TV now
Sure.
because of all the different
Thanks, Shonda Rhimes.
yeah, thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Getting
And-
normalized.
Yeah.
normalized. So
But it's
yeah.
not much of a stretch for you guys. I mean, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
No,
you
yeah.
have a good body, though. You know,
well,
you have
that's very
things
Your
are all
things
in the
aren't
place.
flopping.
They're all in the
yeah,
right
yeah,
place. You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not as much of a risk, and but it was just really fun. I'm 46, and
You're a child.
I'm a baby.
So
You-
what
you're-
happens in front of a camera when you take your clothes off, Maria Bamford, and you're like, okay, strip?
Well, it was very nice. My husband was there because he was one. I asked him to be there just so I would feel like less scared.
Mhm.
Because we like when you're in a couple, like we just dance. We dance around the house naked sometimes for fun.
To Rihanna. Work.
I have to say he is not a pop music fan, unfortunately.
Aw.
Yes.
What does he like?
Megadeth?
He likes Crosby, Nash, and Stills.
No.
Crosby, Nash, and
Stills and Young.
Stills and Young. Yeah.
He likes 70s punk.
Oh,
is one
so
of
the great
his-
Dead Kennedys.
No, he like
Sex
"Ça plat pour
Pistols.
moi, ça plat pour moi, mama." You know, remember Sylvain Bertrand? Wait a minute.
Yes, but if he's into 70s punk, it would be European
He
stuff,
just
wouldn't
played a band called The Slits.
Oh, yeah, I remember the
Yes.
Slits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all female.
Yeah. Okay, so he, I know.
Is he
would-
younger or older?
No, he's older. He's 54, 53,
Child. He's a
54.
child of 50.
Just
Yes.
a child, darling.
Yeah.
But and then
So he was there.
he was there, and everybody they knew that it was going to be. So it was just really nice. And then
Who directed that episode?
who did direct that?
Because you have different directors each episode. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you get to
know,
choose the director?
I didn't, but it's okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know how to do those things.
Right.
And I don't really have a dog in the fight in terms of like, and I think that is partially being acknowledging my limitations mentally. Like I just don't have it in me to be the master and commander
Right.
of some.
It seems like it
show.
though, because the show is so personal.
Yeah.
It seems like not only
They
do
do
you
a
have a dog
beautiful
in the show,
job.
you've got a tuchus in the show.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But it seems I don't I don't understand that statement
Me
because
neither, because I feel like it's all your
it
creation.
feels like it is right out of your mouth.
Well, then that is the beauty of the writers, because I would come in and but they really did a lovely job of interpreting, you know, things that I gave them into stories, and it was they did a beautiful job. I did not write one of those scripts. I did, you know, some punch up my own lines, just saying, oh, this is what I would say instead. But I have to say, it was done by professionals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who directed the baby
Old baby.
Oh baby.
Oh, baby. Oh, Jessica Yu, who is, she's an Academy Award-winning documentarian who is also a friend of my husband's, and she's just a lovely lady.
Oh,
And,
is your husband in the business too?
no, he is a painter. He's an artist.
Right.
So he's done that for 25 years, but he just started doing stand-up a few years ago.
No
Oh
way.
my God.
He had stage fright when we first met. He would never do talks, or if someone had asked him to teach or something, he couldn't do it. And now we just did an open mic last night in our neighborhood at a hot dog stand. Mia's Hot Dog, Colorado Boulevard, 5:30 p.m.
Do you know today is National Hot Dog Day?
It is?
It is.
Oh,
it's
which brings
Kismet.
us-
Yeah. He didn't do it in the nude, did he? Colorado Avenue.
No.
No. Yeah. That would have been hot though.
He is
Yeah.
a good-looking man.
How many takes did you do your nude? How many takes did you do your nude scene?
I think maybe 2 or 3. It was me coming out of a shower, and then it's an actual issue that happens in our relationship is that I drip dry. I like
What?
I mean, I'll use a towel, and then somehow, at least my husband says that I don't dry off enough, and then it drips all over the floor, and it really
And
bugs
he
him.
walks in the bathroom with socks on, and you're like, Maria!
Yeah,
Right
exactly.
into the sloshy puddle.
Exactly.
Right.
And you have to take your socks off. And it's like,
Why
just
can't you
towel
just
dry in
dry
the
off?
shower?
No, it's all of those issues, so it's just me dancing, coming out of the shower, all completely wet, and then him being, shocked.
But he's not on your show.
Oh no!
You have a husband
have-
on this season too.
Yes, my husband on the show is Dari Olafsson, who's an Icelandic actor.
Dari? Oh, can you pull up his picture? I want to
Yes.
see him. Is he hot?
Dari
He's
Olafsson?
a very good-looking guy.
Did
and
you get to choose him?
Yes, I chose him.
Uh-huh.
I chose him. He's got just a lovely energy, just a very
Was he on
good-looking
season 1?
guy. Yeah.
Okay, then I would know him.
So yeah, he's the guy who I'm dating at the time, or
Because at one point you moved in with. Oh yes, him. Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love him.
yeah, so sweet, super
Yes.
sweet guy.
I like to
and,
watch him, yeah.
yeah. So
What's his name again?
Dari Olafsson.
Dari, and he's from Norway.
No, he's from Iceland.
Dari Olafsson. Because your background, your people are from Norway.
Yes,
Norwegian.
Yeah, because a lot of
Norwegian.
Norwegians, like Rosen Island, they all moved to the Midwest or to
Yeah,
Wisconsin
it looks
and
so much
Saint
like
Olaf.
Norway. It
Uh-huh.
looks like that. So so it's I don't know.
It's
very
in your
much about my culture.
it's in your blood. I was just
Vikings.
telling
Vikings.
Michelle earlier that I like to look at the world through Rosen Island glasses.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I think that's a philosophy for life. Maria Bamford, you are lovely.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
So-
It's
Who's
such
the
an honor.
friend who we took the picture for earlier?
Brie LaRose. She is she's a baby writer who she wrote on the show Lady Dynamite the second season,
Mm-hmm.
and was a assistant to the writers on the first season. So she's 6'1". She's
Brie
from
LaRose.
Brie LaRose. She is a delight, just a sweet young gal. But
She's Scandinavian as well.
I do not know.
6'1".
Who
I'm
would
gonna
play
bet.
her? Who would play her?
Oh.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh yes, but she has long hair, gorgeous hair.
Oh, we'll get a wig for that. We'll
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
lace front. Yeah.
Get a lace front. Lots of wigs in the second
Oh,
season.
Oh, yay.
You had me at wigs.
Wigs,
You know,
yeah.
people ask me what's the secret of my youthful appearance. I tell them wig water. Wig water.
I agree.
I wouldn't go anywhere without it.
Yeah.
Maria Bamford, you
Thank
are
you
a
so
joy.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I
Thank you
can't
so
wait
much.
to see Lady Dynamite season 2 on Netflix. I can't wait to see you on again in
Old
Model
Baby.
Old Baby. Why do I keep calling it Model?
I keep saying old lady, which is horrible.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
old baby.
Old Baby.
Yeah.
But that's true too.
And
No,
It's not a bad.
we're not old yet, darling.
all of the cartoon voices, I'm just amazed by you, and that you carry with you. You're like a conductor of so many different energies and feelings and different things. I guess it could really wear a body out, wouldn't it?
Well, good thing I sleep 12 hours a night.
Good for you.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
On
That's a-
heavy psychiatric meds.
I
Good.
love it.
Long as it
Sarah
helps.
Quell. Sarah Quell.
Yummy.
As long as it helps.
I'm going to have some of that with my Red Bull.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'll work well together.
Is there an anal option?
I could find out.
Yes.
And have it delivered.
Okay. Would you please have it delivered?
Always. Always count on me.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, my
Visage.
darling.
Until next time, my dear.
Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe
an
on
amen?
iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.